So I'm going to talk a little bit just about jealousy in terms of first just being jealous of another person for anything. And I really feel like jealousy is a spiritual process. I might be at a phase in my life where I believe everything is a spiritual process, but I sincerely believe it is in a profound way. And somehow, in thinking about jealousy and reflecting on jealousy, the issue of freedom came up, right? Freedom. And I think there's freedom from and freedom to. And jealousy plays in both of these waters. And so freedom means a million different things to a million different people, depending on the moment. But for the purposes of this talk, I'm going to talk about freedom to and freedom from. And a lot of times in talking about jealousy, there can be a lot of desires around freedom to. You might want to have freedom to tell your partner how you feel, or freedom to ask for your needs to be met. Or if you're talking about being jealous of another person, you might be perceiving them as free to do something that you are not free to do. Like, wow, how amazing that they can get up on stage and sing in front of a bunch of people. How amazing that they feel so free to not have children, whereas I feel like I need to because of my, background and conditioning and social expectations. So there can be a lot of freedom too. But in a deeper way, I think there's also this freedom from, right? There's this freedom from our attachments to other people, freedom from our identity structures of who we think we are, freedom from our insecurities, from our belief systems. There's this freedom from. And so jealousy is at the same time showing us what we want to be free to, do, say, express, be, but it's also showing us where we need to be free from. It's showing us our fears, our attachments, our insecurities, the deeper level of soul work that we are attempting to be free from. At the same time that it's showing us we're at the level of our social identity, we might want to be free too. So does that make sense? It's like at the level of social identity, we want to be free to do certain things. And then at a deeper level of our being, in a certain way, it's like trying to be free from that social identity and its limitations and the suffering that those fears and attachments themselves cause. I'm not very familiar with the Bible, but I do know that in the Bible, they talk about these 7 deadly sins, and there's anger and laziness and lust and envy, which is another word for jealousy, is in there. And in the original etymology of the word sin, it means to miss the mark, right? So wherever we're sinning is a place where we are missing the mark. And in another way, this Christian theologist I love says that where we are sinning, these emotions that the Bible calls sin are symptoms of where we have created separation. They're symptoms of where we have our ego construct, creating this contraction in the unified field of consciousness, right? In jealousy, we are making someone other. We are making them other in terms of I want that and I'm not that. Or we're making someone other in terms of I want them and they might leave, right? In either case, we are feeling separate from them. And I think in that separateness, Amita, as you were saying, is the seed of a lot of other things, of prejudice, of violence, of suffering, of loss, of lack, of comparison, of competition, of less than. So jealousy itself is a symptom of the same place where all of the great human sufferings come from in life, in the separation, and in attempting to control one's external circumstances in order to feel better on the inside, and believing that how you feel on the inside is dependent on external circumstances. So in process work, we have these multiple dimensions of experience. So on the level of consensus reality, where I am me and you are you, there is a persistent illusion that we are separate. And yet at the level of dreamland, where we play with symbol, where everyone who we meet, anyone we be jealous of, anyone we're attracted to, anyone we're repulsed from, is almost like a figure in our own dream that has information about our own consciousness, our own wholeness. And in that way is reflecting an aspect of us, right? So that whatever we're jealous of on the outside in a person, or whenever we're jealous of our partner, it means that that state that we're looking for, or that qualities that we're putting on them, that we believe will make us feel a certain way about our own internal state, are somehow already inside us. And then at the essence level, we can access that energy. We can access its essence within. And just as we explored in the first exercise, that the experience of jealousy itself might be attempting to grant us access to a secondary or unknown part of ourself, our power, our vulnerability inside. And so finding what that essence is, deepening it, taking it all the way and reclaiming it, is part of overcoming that separation. So that these levels of dreamland and essence, and the essence level, have components and qualities that we can explore in ourselves. Yeah, that being jealous means that it's inside us somewhere. You know, I'm not personally jealous of like a football player. I have no desire to be a football player, you know, but I might be jealous of the fact that they have so much money, or that they're so physically strong, right? At the level of the dream figure that they represent, or at the level of the essence of like being a football player, I might be seeking to integrate some of those inside of me.